Racing to the 2020 Kentucky Derby in Kentucky Oaks, and today is Friday, and it's time for the Ask Me Anything edition as we get ready for the Kentucky Derby in Kentucky Oaks. It'll be just a week away now, and let's start off with a few submitted questions. Let's get you up to date on where the fields are and what's been going on the last few days. Attachment rate. Dale Roman's announcing on Thursday that he will be running in the Kentucky Derby. He was under consideration for the Pat Day Mile. He was nominated to both the Derby and the Pat Day Mile, and attachment rate looks like he is going to be going to the Kentucky Derby. Swiss skydiver Kenny McPeak reiterating again, they're going to try to go against the girls. They're going to take on Gamine in the Kentucky Oaks, and then, if all goes well, possibility of the Preakness on October 3rd. Other developments, Venetian Harbor is out of the Kentucky Oaks, and Bayerness announcing they are going to be running in the Kentucky Oaks. So we're still sitting at about a 10 or 11 horse field possibly for the Kentucky Oaks as we're a week away. First question, somebody wanted to know about Calvin Borel. Why, with his Kentucky Derby success, nobody decided to give him a mount? That's a very interesting question. Of course, he's had success riding that rail at Churchill Downs. He also seems to really judge that pace and kind of seems to just have a nose for laying back and allowing his horse to make one run. Now, this year the favorites are very strong, and they did have their normal jockeys on them, but still a possibility. He just doesn't ride enough is the basic answer. Calvin Borel just not getting on enough mounts now. He's starting to get a little bit older, and trainers are just opting for younger, more aggressive riders, especially if these riders have already ridden many of their Derby horses. Question submitted, should Phillies run in the Oaks in the Derby? And what about Gamine? How would she do in the Derby? Should she run in the Derby? Good question. I mean, I think it's more like a sports talk type question. Gamine has run in the Acorn and the Test Stakes. Once they decided they were going to run in the Test Stakes, probably not likely that she would run in the Kentucky Derby. Best chance of running against the boys, maybe the Preakness if she draws away in the Oaks like Rachel Alexandra did. But I think there's a lot of money to be made, and I think, you know, overall they want to stick to a 1.125 and shorter type races. I just don't see Gamine being a 1.25 horse, especially as a 3-year-old, and especially as lightly raced as she is. So can Phillies run in the Derby? Yeah, Swiss Skydiver has the points, and it's all about the points races now. That's how you get involved in the Kentucky Oaks and Derby if you're going to be running, especially a filly against the boys. Question submitted on the final 3-ace theory. I may do a video on that next week, highlighting some of the final 3-ace. That's gotten prominent in the last 10, 15 years. People like to take the last 3-ace. Now this year it clouds it up a little bit with the Belmont Travers Stakes being a 1.25. But so far, Tiz the Law has the fastest final 3-ace. That was on Belmont Day at Belmont Park. And a few other horses are below that 38-second threshold. So we'll maybe take a look at that, deeper dive into that next week as we get closer to the Kentucky Derby. Everybody wants to know the top 3 to win the race. We'll dive into that more tomorrow. We're going to be doing a video on Saturday on the big 3 contenders, Honor AP, Tiz the Law, and also Art Collector. And I really think the winner is going to come from one of those. But for the Exacta and Superfecta and Trifecta, you know, sometimes the winning race flow is different than running second. So when I look at this race, I don't always take the best 2 horses and put them as my top 2. If I see Tiz the Law winning, I may consider other horses for second. If I think Honor AP is going to win, I may consider other horses for second. So more about that in tomorrow's video. But my top 3 are, I think it's about a 90% chance that Tiz the Law, Art Collector, and Honor AP, one of those 3 will be wearing roses. Corey Lanerie got a question. Is he good at Churchill Downs? Yes, I like Corey Lanerie. He tends to ride the rail. He kind of rides similar to Calvin Borel. He's done well in a few stakes races by saving all of that ground. Now, he's had a few memorable mishaps at Saratoga, getting boxed in at the rail a couple of times as well. So Corey Lanerie will be riding in the Kentucky Derby, and look for him to establish position and try to work out a ground-saving trip. And Miguel Mena also on a couple of questions. What I see for him, I think he's going to do well. I think the local jockeys are going to do well this year at Churchill. We've got 6 new riders on horses for the Kentucky Derby. And I do think 2 of the key rides in the race are going to be John Velasquez, where he puts authentic and how slow he can milk out those fractions. And I think 'Tis the Law. Is he going to be sitting 2nd, 3rd, or 4th like he got aggressive in the Travers Stakes, or is he going to lay back and maybe be in that 3rd flight of horses, more like the Animal Kingdom, Super Saver Trip, and a few other ones, sitting in 8th or 9th place? And you don't want to let authentic get too big of a lead, even though distance is a question. Horses do get brave, and especially if he can stop that clock in right around 48 or even 112 and change. They did let up in the Haskell once he opened up that lead. That was more, I think, New York traffic making a huge late run to make that close in the Haskell. If authentic had won that Haskell Stakes by 2 to 3 lengths, I think a lot of people would be viewing that horse differently. That's your Ask Me Anything segment. Don't forget, Saturday we got a review of the top 3 contenders: Art Collector, 'Tis the Law, and Honor AP. Hit that subscribe button, ring that bell for notifications as we lead you up to the 2020 Kentucky Derby and Kentucky Oaks.